For today's video, we'll be taking a look at a power supply unit from Lian Li, which comes with a feature that truly sets it apart from the rest of the competition, a rotatable AC inlet that can be rotated 90 degrees to suit all sorts of PC builds and cable routing configurations. I'm talking about the Rotational Shift or RS series of PSUs, and for today's video, I've got the white-coloured 1000 watt variant on hand, the RS1000G. The RS lineup of PSUs were launched back in December 2025, sport 80+ gold certification, and is available in 1200 watt and 1000 watt variants. Let's unbox the RS1000G, take a closer look at its specifications, and plonk it into a white-coloured demo PC build that I have on hand so as to see if it's any good. In terms of packaging, the RS1000G comes shipped in a box with Lian Li's signature black and blue colorway, with information on the specs of the PSU peppered on all sides of the box. We do also get a transparent window that showcases the key feature of the RS lineup of PSUs, the rotatable AC inlet that I mentioned earlier. Let's move on to take a look at the accessories that Lian Li's included with the PSU. First up, we get a thank you card right here. And this is accompanied by a user's manual. As well as a user's manual for a RS hub. You might ask, what exactly is a RS hub? Well, to answer you, we've got it right here, where basically it's a USB 2.0 hub and comes included as standard with the 1200 watt variant, while it's an optional feature with the 1000 watt model. In any case, we'll take a closer look at the RS hub later on in this video. Moving on, we get a pack of two USB 2.0 cables as well as an expansion slot faceplate that are accessories for the RS hub. Again, we'll take a closer look at the RS hub and its corresponding accessories later on. We also get a bag containing cable combs and magnetic clips for cable management purposes, as well as two dust covers to be used to cover the PSU's unused 18+10 pin ATX power connectors. We've also got an AC power cord right here, a pack of cable ties, a bag of PSU mounting screws, as well as another pack of screws that are to be used to secure the aesthetic side plates that come included with the PSU. And finally, a cloth bag that contains all of the RS1000G's modular cables. Underneath this foam protector, we get the RS1000G power supply unit. And beneath this foam divider, we get two aesthetic side plates that are to be used to cover up the relevant side of the PSU, depending on which orientation you'll be mounting it in. I'll run through the installation of these plates later on in this video. Here it is, the RS1000G power supply unit, and first impressions, it's pretty compact for a 1000 watt PSU that's 80+ gold certified, where given that it has a depth of just 150 mm, it should fit pretty easily into most PC cases with no issues at all. In case you're wondering about its exact dimensions, the RS1000G and in fact the rest of the RS lineup for that matter measures in at 150mm by 86mm by 150mm. In terms of aesthetics, the RS1000G definitely looks different from your typical power supply units, all thanks to its rotatable AC inlet right here. This being a PSU that can be mounted in two different orientations, we get ventilation openings on two sides of the PSU as a result, where you'll notice we get an 18-pin and 10-pin ATX power connectors on this side with ventilation openings, and the same set of 18 plus 10 ATX power connectors on this other side. Again, the whole point of this is to offer end users lots of flexibility in terms of how they like to set up the Lian Li RS PSU in their respective PC builds. Over on this side, we get your usual modular connectors for the various cables that the RS1000G comes with, and you'll also notice this rectangular area with a connector of sorts right beneath the modular connectors. This is one of the locations that you can install the RS hub, which I'll cover later on. Over on the top panel of the PSU, we get a sticker with detailed specs of the RS1000G along with the usual safety warnings. Bottom panel wise, we catch a glimpse of the 135mm FDB cooling fan through ventilation openings in the shape of squares and rectangles for added visual interest, all topped off by a Lian Li badge right in the center above the fan hub. And with that, let's move on to look at the cables that come included with the RS lineup of PSUs, where we've got a chart on the screen with the respective lengths of the cables that come included. Do note that these two USB cables only come included with models of the RS lineup that come with the RS hub. Taking a closer look at the cables, only the 24-pin ATX power cable and the 12V 2x6 cable come with a braided texture design for a more premium appearance. The rest of the cables that come included with the PSU are of the standard smooth variety, like so. A feature to point out about the graphics card power cable's 12V 2x6 connector, it has a dual color connector design where the blue portion will fully disappear if the connector is properly inserted into the 12V high power connector on the graphics card like so. If it's improperly inserted or not fully seated within the port for that matter, you'll be able to see a tinge of blue like so. This is definitely a good feature to have on hand. Also, the connector seems pretty sturdily built. We can see that the pins embedded within the housing of the 12V 2x6 connector do not move even if I were to manipulate the cables a fair bit, which should go a long way in helping to make sure that the connector is properly seated when hooked up to your graphics card. An important feature to have, I'd say, seeing how this connector design's gotten a really bad rep, with no shortage of stories regarding melted connectors when improperly inserted into the corresponding power connectors of power-hungry graphics cards, such as those powered by the RTX 5090 GPU and the RTX 4090 GPU. Let's run through the specs of the RS lineup of power supplies real quick. We get two power options to choose from, 1200 watts and 1000 watts, where the RS lineup is ATX 3.1 compliant, conforms to the 80+ gold standard in terms of efficiency, and features a 135mm fluid dynamic bearing fan for cooling. For peace of mind, the RS lineup comes with a 10-year warranty, and if we were to pop over to PPLP's website, a certifying body for PC hardware components such as PSUs, they've given the RS1000G in particular a gold rating, where this PSUs also received a S rating in terms of noise levels under medium and heavy loads. For added peace of mind, the RS lineups also received the Cybernetics Platinum rating, which is great to see and really reassuring. Let's now spend some time to talk about the RS Hub, which, as can be seen, gives end users 4 additional USB 2.0 headers, with each header supporting up to 2 devices for a total of 8 devices. The RS Hub can be powered by the PSU directly, where you'll have to remove a plastic cap right here, so as to expose the power connector pins. Once done, you can then mount it in this location beneath the modular cable connectors. where it slides into place like so. You'll then have to connect the RS hub either to your motherboard's onboard USB 2.0 header using this cable that has two 9-pin female USB 2.0 connectors on both ends, or alternatively, connect it to a USB 2.0 Type A port on the rear of your PC using this cable that terminates in a male USB 2.0 Type A connector. If you're intending to use this SID cable, you can run it from the hub through this included expansion slot faceplate that comes with a notch for you to run the SID cable through. A thoughtful accessory to have on hand for sure. Now, you do have the option of mounting the RS hub elsewhere in your PC, where it comes with built-in magnets that allow you to attach it to, say, the back of your motherboard tray or any other area within your PC case for that matter. If you choose to do so, you'll have to power the RS hub via a SATA power connector, where the said power connector is located on one of the short edges of the RS hub. Rounding off this section on PSU specs, it does seem that the RS lineup of PSUs, or at least the RS1000G in particular, is based off an OEM design from a Chinese company called Serfa Dongguan Electronic Company Limited, as per this little line here on the top of the PSU. Just a little tidbit of information in case you're wondering who the OEM is for this PSU. Right, so to get a first-hand experience of using the RS1000G, I'll be using it to replace the existing power supply unit of a white-colored PC build that I have on hand, which features a white-colored Lian Li Vector V100 case alongside a whole bunch of Uni Fan CL Wireless 120 case fans. Now, installing the RS1000G inside of the Vector V100 was pretty straightforward. Again, owing to the rotatable AC inlet and the overall design of the PSU, we get two mounting orientations, standard or side. In the standard mode, you'll have to install the corresponding side plate like so. And thereafter, cover up the unused 18+10 ATX power connectors on the other side using the included dust caps. With that done, the motherboard 24-pin cable will run from the side of the PSU to your motherboard, and the rest of the modular cables will be run from the rear of the RS1000G, like any other typical power supply unit. If you'd like to go with the side mounting orientation, you'll have to adjust the position of the AC inlet accordingly before installing the corresponding side plate. Once done, cover up the unused 18+10 ATX power connectors with the included dust caps before installing the PSU into the PSU chamber. For the purposes of the demo build, I'll be going with the RS1000G installed in the side orientation. And one nice cable management feature that the RS series has are these magnetic clips that are to be used for cable management, specifically for the 8-pin CPU EPS power cables. As can be seen, you can simply fold and press the 8-pin EPS cable into the said magnetic clip and attach the said clip to the rear of your motherboard tray so as to make things look just that little bit neater. A much appreciated feature to have for sure. All in all, the RS1000G was very easy to get set up in the demo build. And that's the cue for the aesthetic reel. To sum up, I do think that Lian Li's really upped the ante when it comes to innovating and coming up with new features for a PC hardware component that hardly ever gets interesting features. The rotatable AC inlet, coupled with the amount of flexibility that you get in terms of cable management, really sets this PSU apart from the rest of the competition, and the RS hub's a nice feature to have on hand as well, at least for models that do come with the RS hub. The quality of the included modular cables is great too, and on the whole, I think that Lian Li's got a real winner on its hands. That said, I can't comment much about the PSU's performance as I don't have the necessary equipment to do in-depth power testing. In terms of pricing, the RS1000G in white and with the RS hub included, which is basically the variant featured in this video, has an MSRP of $164.99 US, and you can save $5 US if you choose to do away with the RS hub. The black versions of the RS1000G are $5 US cheaper than their corresponding white versions, and in case you're interested to get the 1200 watt variant, the MSRPs of the RS1200G are as listed on the screen too. Once again, the 1200 watt variants come with the RS hub included as standard. With that, thank you so much for watching, hit the like button and get subscribed if you've enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys around the next time.